Back. If you push me on my back, kick off, stand back up, and then go back to hand fighting using your feet and using your hands. Makes sense? Or hand fighting and foot fighting, I should say. So 3, 2, 1. So we have to be able to work offense too. So say for example, I'm going to attack Kieran's legs with my legs. So he's trying to come inside, monitoring the hands here. So maybe I get my grip on the legs, and then I'm just going to go into some type of attack. So whichever attack that might be. Alright, so attack on the legs, could be a sweep, leg locks, whatever you want. Using your legs. The next one then is using your hands on your training partner's leg to wrestle up. That one again, so monitoring the hands with my hands, monitoring the feet with my feet, maybe I can get an inside catch, wrestle up, finish the takedown, and then the last one, Kieran maybe manages to push me on my back, and I'm going to start going to, sorry Kieran, kick him in the nose, upper body attacks. Like 25%. So first one is attacking the legs using your legs. So whichever type of submission or entry you want to do, could be a sweep. Second one, in using your hands on your training partner's legs to wrestle up. And then the last one, you push me on the floor, and we start going to upper body attacks. Maybe breaks free. Go into legs or whatever you want. Alright, so let's go 3 for 3, free flowing. So guard retention, but adding in offense on top of that. 3, 2, 1. But here puts me on my back. Here, so he steps in, he puts me on my back. It's important I get my feet on the inside straight away, and I keep my knees to my chest. My toes are pointing outwards. This is so important. Hands are on the outside of the knees, or wrists are on the outside of the knees, and I flare my elbows. And you can see I'm kind of playing a little bit more on my right hip. So if Kieran tries to throw me left or right, my elbows to stop me getting crushed. Alright, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to put our feet on our partner's biceps, shoulders, chest. We push, make space, and then we go back to seated guard. That's our drill. Alright, so again, so I'm trying to hand fight, trying to stay up. He pushes me down, feet on the inside, toes pointing outwards. My wrist connects to the outside of my knee, and my elbows are flared. Knees are close to my chest. If Kieran tries to throw me left and right, my elbows stop me getting rolled over. If my elbows are on the inside, he'll expose my back and pass. So elbows flared and toes are pointing to the outside. So if Kieran tries to pressure me, using my frames, put my foot on his hip or shoulder, I push, and then we go back into a seated guard where we can go into our attacks. So that's our next one. If he tries to cut an angle, so here, I'm going to turn towards him. So still knees to the chest, toes pointed outside, but I'm facing Kieran. If Kieran goes to this side, I turn and face this side here. Feet are always inside that line of the shoulder and the elbow. So you try like kind of move around a little bit. And I can't just stay here, so if you try pass a little bit, I'm going to try create some space where I can sit back up, and then I can start attacking from seated guard where I can use my hands and feet. So he's blocking that, I can't turn. So I'm just going to go hand on the inside, hand on the shoulder, foot on the hip when I start to make contact. Second foot goes on the shoulder, the belly, or even the leg, wherever I can. And I start to turn and invert to get my guard back, and then I fire off and attack. Here. Do that again. Here. Here pushes me down. Maybe I pummel. Here. Gets my knee. So now I start to invert, and then I fire off and attack. So that's when he's just above the knee line. When he gets, like, say, to my hip or past my hip, the inversion is kind of like hard to get. So what we do is we start to monitor this far arm, throw my scissor my right leg over my left, open my shoulder, I press my left foot on the mat, and I walk and helicopter my legs to get my feet back into position to wrestle up or hit a sweep or some type of attack. So, scissor your legs, walk your feet, and then we're back to guard, getting our attacks going. Alright, so let's play at that speed so we can get the mechanics down. So 3, 2, 1. Our face lock, we pummel drill, the inversion, the rule man escape. So it's like, and then we're going to work up like, we're actually going to work on a little bit more technically is the sit-up escapes, which is a lot more popular in Nogi as well. But it's really important that you understand that, like, if your guard gets past, it wasn't like one thing, it was like a sequence of things that went wrong. Even if he's on my hip, he's blocking with his right hand. Here, the first thing I'm going to do is knees to my chest, and they start to sit up here. So you can stay as heavy as you want, you drop your hip. I'm going to stay to here. If I can, like, basically, the first thing I'm going to try to do from here, you can hold on to it fairly tight here, is to try and move myself away from Kieran. So I'm up on my side, I'm up on this elbow, and I'm using the thumb post on his wrist here. So I'm basically just going to bring my heels back, I dig my feet into the floor, and I push to get to a hand post here. And then I can just start attacking with front headlocks or wrestling, wherever you want. So again, Kieran's on my hips, so I stop him from locking his hands, and I stay on my elbow. So here, if you try to go for it. So basically the first thing we do is heels to the floor, and I push my feet towards my elbow to get up on my hand post. Once I get up on my hand post, heels go back even further, and then I bring my knees and hips towards the floor by doing like a hip hike, so it's here. And then we start to attack. Here, so blocking this crossface, even if I need momentum, I'll use it. Here, up on my elbow. Heels go back, Kieran's going to be chasing me. I push my heels towards my elbow to get up on a hand post. Once I get up on a hand post, I then use my feet to help me get my hips up off the floor, and then I turn my hips down towards the mat, where I can start to counter from there. Make sense? Alright, 3, 2, 1. Here I beat my ankles, my knees, and he's on my hips, so maybe he is like some type of control here. So maybe my two hands aren't on the inside, my hands are separated, which is going to be way worse for me. So if I can, I need to be able to get my feet back and start to get my knee inside and re-pummel like the way we would. Maybe, so if you kind of pressure me there a little bit here. What I'll do this time is, I'll basically, if I can't turn in towards him, I'm just going to turn to the opposite side here. This is really important. So like, let's say I'm here, Kieran's causing problems, my hands are separated, so they're not like making an 11 like the way they should be. So his head is splitting my hands. So I'm trying to hip escape, create some movement. It's not working, so watch the way I just like nearly scissor my hand to come up here. And my goal now is I keep the collar tie to stop Kieran going around to my back. Here, because if he comes around to my back, this is obviously going to be way worse. So it's a collar tie with a false grip, but the focus is use your elbow and forearm to keep like separation between your chest and your training partner's chest. If I don't have my elbow in place, you can flatten me out. So it is a collar tie, but it's more like the connection you get with the wrist, forearm and elbow. So if Kieran tries to flatten me out, my hand isn't too much, isn't doing too much, that's just an anchor. And basically what I'm going to do is, Kieran brings his knees up to my hamstrings here. So I walk my feet away first. So if you can go fairly tight. Normally what's going to happen is the leg that's on the inside is going to go in first. Here. And if Kieran keeps following me, it doesn't really matter now. I can put the foot in the hip and then we can sit back to a seated guard. Here's my hands separated here. Now I get my hand on the inside. So I sit up using the collar tie. So if Kieran gives me space, just pummel your feet back inside. Anyone that's good is going to keep their knees connected to your hamstring. So walk your feet away here. If you can get the near side one in, great. If he's really tight, it's going to be the one that's on the inside. So I walk, and then see the way my left leg is like in a straight line, so it's easy to put that in. And then I push with the collar tie. I go from an elbow post to a hand post. We get our knees and feet inside, put my foot in his hip, and then we're ready to start attacking from there. So we're here, my hands are separated, trying to create, if you stay still, you're going to get smashed. So make sure he doesn't get a grip on your head. So we're here. See the way I switch from right to left? Walk my feet away, get up in my hand. So my head is now higher than Kieran. If he stays tight, maybe I bring it on this side here. If he stays tight, go from an elbow post to a hand post. I walk my feet away, and the leg that's on the inside goes in here. And then I push the weight back on his heels. Start to get my knee in, feet in his hips, get my grips, and we're ready to start attacking. So that's our last one. 3, 2, 1.